I know you must be wondering, what is this guy doing again in the studio talking about Pennyworth, right? And I can tell you, it's not an illusion. We are live back because we have an after show Pennyworth special show for you guys because we also have a special guest today. I have my friend Pennyworth in the house again and also a special guest, Hainsley Lloyd Bennett in the house. Check it out in 1 second.
I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
We're back.
Oh my God! I can't believe it. We're really back. Isn't that crazy? It's been a while, right? And everyone was asking, like, when we came into the studio, what are you guys doing here, right? So why are you talking about the show? It's not on right now. But as you can see, you know, we have a special guest today in the house, and I'm really glad that you came into the studio. Thank you so much. You're in LA for a couple of days, right?
I am, yes.
Hainsley Lloyd Bennett is in the house, ladies and gentlemen. Woo. I mean, everyone knows you, obviously, right? Who was watching the show, of course. You play Baza, one of the lead characters, right?
I do.
And it's so amazing to have you here. I mean, remember, guys, we talked to you on Skype already, right? A couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And now having you sitting right next to us is kind of an illusion, you know?
It's a dream. It's a dream. I feel like it's an illusion here. You threw down a little smoke pellet. I appeared.
Batman style.
Exactly. You know how we do.
So we're not just hosts, we are magicians too. Oh my God, we know. But yeah, let's start. Like, how do you feel being in LA right now? I think you told me you've been here before, but it's been a while for you.
It's been a while. So this is my third visit to LA.
Right.
And the last time I was here was probably 5 years ago.
Right.
Obviously, then I was sort of a bit earlier in my career, so I was trying to get representation, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
This show has completely changed my visibility to everybody.
Right.
So this visit has been completely different now.
Right.
Bit of a shift in power dynamics, but it's been great to be here. I've really enjoyed being back, catching up with friends. So yeah, I'm having a good time.
I mean, I can't imagine because I used to live in the UK, right? Coming to California, having sunshine, it's like, oh, what is that?
I know, it's crazy. You guys, I mean, we have seasons in the UK, right? So that's the thing. I mean, they go a bit skew sometimes, but to come somewhere where I know it's going to be sunny every day, it's a bit like a Truman Show experience for me. It's kind of crazy. I'm like, sun again? Sun again?
Every morning when you wake up, oh my God, it's
sunny.
It's
sunny
bright.
again.
It's bright outside, right? No
crazy.
Depression, nothing.
It's crazy. It's crazy. But I'm enjoying it.
No,
I'm
awesome.
loving it,
No, that we're going to talk a lot more about that, what you experienced and what you did.
right,
but first of all, I also wanted to say hi, Cherry. Maybe you can watch us right now. Just want to give a shout out to Cherry, who can't really make it today, unfortunately. But we're thinking of you.
And Anais.
And Anais, of course. Oh my God, Anais. I hope you're doing well too, right? We love you too. But moving on. Talking about something, you know, you said already you've been to LA a couple of days ago. You came, you arrived.
Yes.
So what brought you to LA in the first place?
On this visit or the previous visit?
This visit
This
right
visit. Well, you know, the show, as you guys know, you've been watching every episode. It came out. It's done really well. Yeah. And essentially, it's opened up doors for me as an actor. So, you know, what better way to extend that to get LA American representation, and you know, try and start a takeover essentially. Get some more credits in the US if I can, and get representation here, and get a strategy on how to push my career forward with the power of Pennyworth. Basically.
So you're officially you're making it, man. Like you're doing work, you're doing good things.
Yeah.
What advice do you have for people who are trying to get to your position, who are actors that want to get to your level?
I'd say you have to love it, I'd say. I think it's really important. There's going to be a lot of ups and downs as an actor, and you're definitely going to be tested artistically and just through the pressure of the business. So definitely love what you do, not just the artistic side, but also learning the business. The business is constantly evolving, changing. All of the agents and managers have to be on top of that. And I think if you can have that same enthusiasm for the business side of it, that's going to help you maneuver through the industry way easier than if you only focused on the art and was like, I don't know how the business works. I don't know what the managers do. I don't know. So, you know, learn your business and then you can get to do the show part.
And you know what I really love what you said. I mean, we talked a little bit before, but what really stuck into my head was you said something like, hey, you know what? I love acting. Acting is my passion. But I also like to give interviews. I like to be out there. I like talking to people. And I love that you said that because I feel like, and we talked about it, actors want to be creative.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah,
It's an art. We want to do that because we are passionate about it. But I think what you just said is so valuable. I think everyone needs to understand if you really want to make it also as an actor, to continue your passion, you have to also think about the business side.
You have to do it.
And that's what you do right now, for example, is part of it.
Yeah, for sure.
So, and I think more actors should or need to understand that in a certain way, right? So
I think definitely when you're starting out as well, the broader understanding you can have of the business, that, like I said, the easier it's going to be for you to maneuver.
Right.
If you learn what agents want, if you learn how to present yourself and how to put your show reel together, how to write simple things like emails, cover letters, the things that you need to say to agents to get their attention. You know, all those little things that I had to learn. Some of it I learned myself. Some of it I learned from friends.
Right.
But once you start to learn these things, leveling up is easier. Obviously, you need to have a level of talent and then book the jobs.
Right.
But
For sure.
in terms of the gatekeepers of the industry, once you know how to converse with these people and what they want, it makes it a lot easier to deliver it to them.
And you touched on starting out. Can you kind of just touch on a little bit your journey on how you got to where you are today?
So I didn't train formally, so I didn't go to full-time drama school. I went to a theatre school in Ealing, which is in London, called Questers. I want to shout out all my Questers crew who's watching this. G59, baby, we here.
we also see some pictures of you right here.
Oh
like
yeah,
Pennyworth,
that's me and my boy Ryan.
Right.
So I went to Questers, a theatre school, for 2 years, and I remember at the first audition, you do 2 monologues, and my teacher David Emmett said, so what do you hope to do after this course? Because really that course was just a prep to be able to get into drama school.
Right.
So he said to me, what do you want to do after this course? And I said, well, I'm going to go on to be a professional actor. And he said, well, no one's ever been to this school and left and become a professional actor. And I said, well, I'm going to be the first.
Wow.
Hey.
Wow. I love that. That's a statement right here. That's
I said that, and he was like, okay. Okay.
Why not?
So I definitely think I had I'll admit it. I was very confident, but I can see how that energy could have come across a bit cocky. But I was just so passionate and determined about making it that's what propelled me. So I finished Questers, and I got an agent. It wasn't a huge agent at the time. It was just a small boutique agency. And then I had to do all the groundwork. I had to do little things like commercials, short films, corporate videos, voiceovers, just to, start earning money, start, getting myself out there in the business.
Right.
I did a few plays. Right. Those plays got reviewed. And then slowly but surely, I moved my way up in terms of the credits that I got and the agencies that were interested in me. But it wasn't really until, I'd say, last year that I really leveled up in terms of agency. So, there's gatekeeping in the industry. We all know that. You only get access to a certain type of job when you have a certain type of agent. And I leveled up in terms of my agent, and I had a similar conversation with him. He was the only agent of like 10 of the top in the UK, 10 or 15, that I emailed. He's the only one who replied to me. So he called me in. His name's Luke, and he sat me down. He's an ex-stockbroker, so he's really straight talking. Yeah. No crap, no messing. And he sat me down. He's like, "Good to meet you. Good to meet you." I was like, "Hey man, how you doing?" So he's like, "So, why haven't you done more TV and film?" So I was like, "Damn, son.
Okay, you don't know me.
Let me live, man. Okay." So I was like, "Well, I'm only as good as the opportunities that are put in front of me." So he's like, "Okay." And I said, "Listen, if you give me an opportunity, I guarantee you I'll book those jobs. And if I don't, we can have this conversation in 3 months." And he was like, "Who's this dude?"
Love it.
That's
so
awesome.
You just need to,
So
you
cool.
need to back yourself, right? So he said that. It's like, okay, I'll give you a shot. So the first 3 months I was with him, he got me 60 plus auditions. It was like insane. He was like, "Okay, if you think you're the dude, I will test you." So I was like, wow, okay, so the pressure's on me now. I really need to book something. So I was penciled for a few things, commercials and a feature film, didn't get it. But then I booked one TV show called Casualty, which is kind of like the British ER type thing on the BBC. And then I did a show called Catastrophe, which is on Amazon over here, but it's on Channel 4 in the UK. And then 2 months after that, I booked Pennyworth. So in the space of like 6 months,
That's
my
awesome.
career just completely turned around thanks to that.
You know, you got it. Win.
But that's amazing, and I feel like it doesn't has anything to do with arrogance or something, because some people always think, hey, why does he speak so highly about himself? I was like, no, that's just confident, right? I mean, especially when you're in front of an agency or an agent, you have to show them what you're capable of and just doing what you did.
They have to know that you can. Not only you've got the talent, but you can handle the pressure that is going to be put on you as a performer. You're going to have to go in rooms in front of directors, casting directors, producers, really powerful people who want to know if you can deliver.
For sure.
And their attitude, an agent's attitude is going to be, if you crumble in front of me, what are you going to do when I put you in front of the head of Sony? Or, you know, you're going up for a Netflix series regular and you crumble in front of... So it's better you get that discipline in early so that you're well desensitized by the time you actually come to those opportunities.
I mean, I just wanted to talk about a topic because we also want to talk about Pennyworth and what's coming next, right? It's also very interesting and exciting. But I think we have a lot of people out there watching us right now and also might be interested in, hey, I also want to become an actor or actress at some point. So, and we also mentioned already, acting is like an up and down, or can be like an up and down, right?
Sure.
And I just wanted to ask, from your experience, what would you recommend or suggest to people if they want to start out as an actor or actress from a mindset perspective?
Okay.
What do you have to be ready for, and how do you handle that?
How do you handle it? I think as an actor, if you really understand the why, so why you want to be an actor,
right?
I think that really crystallizes the what and the how. Right. So if you're like, I want to be an actor because I want to tell stories, or I want to be an actor because being creative on the stage or whatever is a real drive for me. Once you've crystallized the why and you can sort of get that engine power, that engine that's going to propel you through the industry, then you're really ready to go. If your why isn't very strong, you're going to find all the other hurdles that come to you difficult. So really understand why you want to do it. And if that reason is strong enough and powerful enough, then take classes, immerse yourself in your craft. You don't have to be like supremely knowledgeable on it. It helps, read books, go to class, study, watch as many talented people do it as you can.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that for me personally, I'm a very visual learner. Like taking notes on acting would never really work for me. Some of the teachers like, write down these notes. And
I know exactly what you mean.
It would never work for me. If you get me to go up and do it, I'll get it like that.
For sure.
If I see somebody else do something and I'm like, okay, that thing, I learn it so quickly. And I think that for me has probably shaved years off of a learning curve for me, just watching talented actors.
So that means this thought that you had, like, even if you had let's say a down period, maybe, you felt a little bit like, oh my God, why is it not working right now? At the beginning, especially at the beginning, did you have also always this thought of why? You always ask yourself, okay, why? Let me go back. Why am I doing this?
Why do I
this
love this?
always got you back on track.
100%.
Gotcha.
Why? I'd always watch, and I'm still fueled by it now. I watch either an old film that got me into acting, or I'm constantly consuming content, as we all are.
Yeah.
But I'll watch a performance and I'll be like, that's why I love this.
I love it.
That's why I love this game.
That's amazing.
Do you remember the first moment you realized, this is what I want to do? I want to be, the biggest actor. I want to just act in front of millions of people.
I think there was a subconscious moment. And I'm well aware, Leonardo DiCaprio is the reason that I started acting.
Oh, yeah.
And he was in a film called This Boy's Life with Robert De Niro.
Right.
And he did Basketball Diaries. It was the second film that really made an impact on me. And I remember watching those films and recreating in my room the really emotional scenes. I didn't even realize I was doing it. And I didn't think about it. It was only maybe a couple of years later when I was at school and they were like, oh, what do you want to study? Music, drama, whatever. And I did drama, that I remembered that I would copy those scenes. And I was like, something obviously deep in me was drawn to this performance and that level of emotion. So when I'd connected those two dots, I was like, okay, I've always been, I've always loved this without even maybe having a really conscious idea that I did. I was mimicking scenes as a kid. You watch your, Jackie Chan or whatever, or your Saturday morning cartoons, and you copy your favorite heroes, and you just don't even think about it. You just do it.
Right.
And that's the great thing about when you're young. You just do it, and what you're drawn to. So yeah, I'd say that was it.
I love that. That brings me back to my own memories, to be honest. Because I know exactly what you're talking about, because I was always, and I still do it, but especially as a kid, always trying to ask myself, am I able to do the same thing like the actor right now? Can I do that? Am I capable of doing exactly the same emotional scene right now? Because for me, it was Forrest Gump, right? We talked about that for a second.
Forrest Gump,
and I was like, could I play this kind of like, in like at the beginning, this unintelligent person who's really not an unintelligent person, right? But can I pull that off? I was never really into that at the very beginning, right? But then I basically started as you just did, and it was like mind-blowing, what you can do if you really just try it out. Exactly. But I just wanted to ask you said already Leonardo DiCaprio, but who else is one of your biggest inspirations?
I mean, it changes a lot. Somebody who else do I really love? Shia Labeouf is a huge inspiration for me. Like, there's something really, he's another person who didn't train per se.
That's right.
No formal training. I think his story is he just got, looked in a newspaper, just picked out a manager, auditioned for a manager, and then went out on auditions. And I just think he is just a phenomenal force as an actor.
Right.
And he's so raw. So raw and honest. There's nothing, I guess because he didn't have like theatrical training. Yeah. He can only be honest. Yeah. He doesn't know how to. Do you see what I mean? So it's not as if he's been to like theatre school or drama school and he's like, I'm going to fall back on this technical thing to be able to. It's like, I need to be in it.
I love that.
And so, he's amazing. Shia Labeouf is definitely one of my top actors.
Right. And I feel like that's so interesting that you say that, because at the end of the day, I feel every actor always has kind of a truth. Yes. Their truth about themselves, in a way, right? So they're just not portraying a role. They're always giving a little bit of themselves too, Yeah. And I think, as you say, of course, you should do classes. You go to school and you should do that, obviously. But I think there's always a natural side that also comes into play. Yeah. That's what I believe. I'm not sure how you guys feel about that, but that's part of it, I feel. You have to have this natural thing too.
Yeah, there needs to be like an essence and honesty that people read when they watch you on screen.
For sure.
And they can feel it, even in the moments that you're not doing anything. Yeah. Those are the really powerful actors who you can just put a camera on them and look in their eyes, and you can see this whole swirling world happening. And for me, Shia Labeouf he's one of those people. I will watch whatever movie he does.
So you mentioned Shia Labeouf is one of your top actors. Who's an actor that you would just love to work with?
Who would I love to work with? You know what? I would love to do a scene with somebody like Robert Downey Jr. or oh my God.
Leo.
Ryan Reynolds.
That's a good one.
Because basically, I look at it as like tennis or sparring, right? So, and in these scenarios, I've got nothing to lose because I'm the underdog, right?
Exactly.
I'm like Rocky. I'm the new guy. I'm fighting Apollo. Nobody knows who I am. But I would love to just test my ability against somebody who's just like so sharp, right? So got so much wit and energy, right? So those two. But in terms of just like an acting powerhouse in that respect, I'd love to do a scene with like Leo or Shia or Jake Gyllenhaal or Joaquin Phoenix or like I'd love to just be in a scene, a big scene like that with somebody like that, just to give me a workout, see how far you know what I mean, like see how far I can take it when I'm in a scene with one of these guys, because you learn a lot about yourself when you're in the scene with these guys.
Oh my God, for sure.
You learn so much, so I'd love to learn that about me.
Great attitude. Thank you so much for talking a little bit about the mindset. And I feel like it's very important also to talk about the personal side, where you're coming from and everything. But obviously also for the audience, we want to talk a little bit more about Pennyworth.
Of course.
Of course, because we already know that a second season was confirmed already. Ding, ding.
I know.
So can you just give us kind of a timeline? When is this going to happen? And when are you going to be back on set and everything?
I think we're going to start filming at some point next year.
Okay.
Probably early next year.
Okay.
In terms of the story, I have no idea. Wow. I honestly have no idea. As we know, at the end of season 1, you know, he saves the queen and he stops a coup.
Yeah, exactly.
And, you know, he had that whole incident with his dad and all that sort of stuff. There's no way I can guess what's going to happen, because if I'm honest, when I first got the show, the show that I thought, obviously they hadn't written it then, so you just make it up in your head, right? But in my head, I thought the show was going to be completely different.
I remember you.
Right? Yeah. So I was like, okay, cool. So, you know, you've got Alfred and you've got Thomas and you've got Martha and you've got this Bette Sykes character. So I thought in my head it was going to be a bit more like a, not completely like it, but a bit more like a CW procedural. Not a villain of the week, but maybe a lean a bit more towards that.
I got you. I know what you mean.
You know, the boys, they have to fix some problem. A bit like episode 2.
Okay.
Right.
I thought there would be more episodes like, oh, there's this trouble. Oh, call Alfred, and he and the boys will get it. So obviously when we got the scripts, I was like, wait, whoa, what?
Mind blown.
This is happening here, and this is doing what? And it took I think for the better though, but it took a completely different narrative turn where it was like, rather than 10 individual episodes, it was one film stretched over 10 episodes.
It really was.
It was all connected. So with that in mind, I don't have no idea how they're going to do that for the second season.
What would you like to see? What happens to your character next season?
What would I like to see? I'd like to see more flashbacks.
Okay.
I would like to see more contextual information about Dave Boy and Baz's character, how they met, why they have the friendship that they do. Maybe another portion of the war that they were all in, that they shared a bond in, you know, because we all shared the death of Spanish in the first one. Yeah. I'd like to see, you know, in the first episode, when we're at the grave, he talks about the Malaysian pirates when we're at the graveyard. And we often talk about these other missions that we've been on. And even Alfred in, you know, The Dark Knight talks about, you know, all these other things that he did with his mates.
Exactly.
So I'm like, I want to see some of that.
Yeah.
I want to see, and I also want to see them use their expertise. Right. I don't think that we got to really use our SAS elite skills strategically rather than reactionary. Right. So I'd love an episode where we literally draw up a plan. Right. And we're like, you're gonna go through the southeast entrance, I'm gonna go through the north entrance. There's 2 guards here. We're gonna do you see what I mean?
Totally. I mean,
I would love to see that.
That's the feeling that I actually had when you guys, 3 of you guys, when you went to the port and you wanted to leave the country. Yes. That's when, okay, now we're gonna go crazy. But then you basically mess it all up at the end. You kind of beat them up and then walk back.
We need to keep Dave Boy in check because, you know, he goes off piste sometimes. But, you know, I just love to see them operating in really succinct, efficient fashion.
Exactly.
Even if it's one episode, I'd love to see that.
I totally agree. I mean, we talked a little bit about it also on the show. I feel like your character is so interesting because he is so mysterious, to me at least still. I mean, I always saw you, obviously, you're always supporting Alfred, right? You're always having his back and you know what to do and you kind of the guy telling him the right things at the right time. Right. But you're still this kind of mysterious guy with an accent. And I was like, where's he coming from?
What's his deal? What's this dude? What's he up to?
You're kind of like your character is very level-headed also.
For sure.
And you're kind of like Alfred's conscience. Yeah. Sort of.
We're like the devil and angel on Alfred's shoulder.
Which I love.
That's a good way to put it.
And Dave Boy. And I think what's interesting is that although we all have our traits as a trio, so Alfred's probably the middle ground between both of us. He does have a devilish side and he does have a good side. Right. And even Dave Boy, yes, he's a bit of a hothead, but he still has a good side too. Yeah. And I'm sure that Baza has the same, but it's just in different degrees. So I'd like to see a bit more of the side that he doesn't show, because Alfred's got this sort of cool, calm exterior. Yeah. Level-headed under pressure, but every now and again we see that crack. We see we see something underneath it. Same with Dave Boy. He plays like he doesn't care. He's the wild man.
Right.
But every now and again he has a breakdown. He has PTSD. He has these little moments.
Right.
So I'd like to see Bazza have one of those moments, or we learn something about him that flips it, your opinion on your head. You're like, whoa, I didn't know he'd done this.
Yeah.
Or he was capable of that when he was younger, or I just something,
That's a good point, because Bazza was always someone that always has everything together. I feel like he's always having it together. He knows that he is always on top of everything, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like having a situation where you can be kind of losing it, maybe.
Yeah,
like
100%.
And I was like, why is he losing it? No, he never did that.
That would be crazy.
That would be cool.
Yeah,
to see.
have Bazza as the one who loses his temper.
Exactly.
Dave Boy has to come and calm me down. Like,
Why
that
not?
would be, just flip it.
Why
That'd
not?
be really interesting.
And we also already learned, because everyone at the beginning was, Alfred, he's such a nice guy, like an angel. But this guy, I have to say, has sex with a couple of women on that show, okay? Man.
Yeah.
He's not like the angel, right?
This is it. He's not perfect. No, but I think that's what's great about the show is that everybody's shades of grey.
That's right.
Everybody's shades of grey. Even Harwood, you're like, okay, he's a villain. But as you go through, you're like, you know what? Maybe he's not going about it the right way, but he loves his country. Even better, you're like, oh my God, she's a killer. But well, no, she's got feelings. She's sensitive.
Yeah.
She falls in love with Esme, and she was genuinely hurt that happened with her. So they're constantly testing your perceptions of everybody so that you don't get too comfortable. Like, oh, he's the good guy, he's the bad guy. It's like, well, no, they're human.
I mean, that's a good way of saying it, because we talked about the living room scene. They're sitting in the living room eating sandwiches, and everyone, and I was like, how can these people go crazy and kill other people?
Yeah.
I mean, because she also feels a little childish sometimes, right? Like a little kid asking her sister, is that okay if I'm doing this? And I was like, and then the next scene, like, she's almost trying to kill the queen. I was like,
what's
heck?
going on?
But that's interesting, though. I like that, though, because that's so unexpected in a way, the twist. And I hope Bazza is going to get that.
I hope that, we'll leave that up to the writers, but I hope that happens. I think that's part of the... what's great about the show is that we don't leave anything to fall into the sort of typical good guy, bad guy scenario.
Right.
That's not interesting for anyone.
I know.
I want to keep it grey and keep everybody on their toes.
And I'm sure everyone is so excited about coming back for season 2.
Yeah.
What's it like working with the cast?
They're all incredible, and they are characters just like the characters in the show.
Really?
Everybody's got such a big personality.
Right.
Ironically, I'd say of like Jack and Ryan and Ben and Emma, and they play Martha and Thomas. We all have elements, quite strong elements of our character. I think so.
That's interesting.
I think the reason why Jack is Alfred is because he has that innate charm and confidence about him. It's very difficult to act that if you don't have it. And the same with Ben. He's got this sort of charm, but he's got this nervous energy that comes through in Thomas. And Ryan is a little ball of energy, just like Dave Boy.
Right.
He's so like it's funny, and when you see them, you can't see anything else but the character.
That's interesting.
And I think we all have very strong strands of our character.
And I feel like that's very interesting from a casting perspective. So I feel that's also something that casting directors are looking for. They're kind of like, of course, you have to be the part, you have to portray and play the part, but we also want to have someone who's kind of almost similar to the part in a way.
Yeah, they don't want to make it, I think, with series regulars roles, unless you're a really established actor, they want somebody to walk in, and as soon as you look at them, you go, okay, that's...
Yeah, exactly.
That's the guy.
We have
before they even open their mouth, you're like, okay, this person, their energy, their look, and then we'll see if you can act, of course, but... That's what they want. As soon as you see them, because that's what the audience is going to do.
Totally.
The audience is going to look at the character and the actor and be like, okay, well, clearly, that is the person.
Totally. You know what? You know what's so sad? We are already at the end of the show.
It went by so
fast. I can't even believe it. Was it 45 minutes? An hour? Oh my God.
Time flies when you're having fun.
Anyway, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you
I
guys.
really appreciate that. Keep in touch, I'm going to come out to the UK, to Germany, whatever,
Hit me up.
Cannot wait for season 2.
I cannot wait.
Oh my gosh.
Keep us updated. Please keep us updated. If you hear anything, let us know.
I will.
Right? But where can we find you guys online, please?
I am Benny Adams. I cannot talk, obviously. You can find me on all social media at Benny J. Adams.
And what about
And you can find me under my name, Hainsley Lloyd Bennett, on both Twitter and Instagram.
Awesome. And you can find me too online, obviously, right? Benjamin Schnau, the German guy, Schnau, S-C-H-N-A-U, like the dog, as I always say, right? You can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Benjamin Schnau. Thank you so much for watching, guys. If you have any comments, please just let us know on YouTube. We're definitely going to get back to you. And we're going to see you on season 2 of Pennyworth.
Woo!
Bye-bye.
Can't wait. See you guys later.
Our founder, Kevin Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.